And of those universities, over the next decade, Moody's has identified that they'll need somewhere between 750 and $950 billion in capital in order to fund and finance all of their real estate infrastructure needs, including deferred maintenance and new building expansion. So when you look at the scale of that, I think investors can really get excited about the ability to place significant amounts of capital within a strategy that up to this point has been a fairly closed ecosystem.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel, and today I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to connecting with, Josh Parker, who is working at Ancora, which is a partner between universities and investors, helping the universities with their real estate needs. So excited to have you on the show today, Josh.
Thanks, Michelle. It's great to be here with you.
Of course. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're supporting both the education system and investors and being that bridge. So let's dive in.
Thanks.
Yeah, first off, for those not yet familiar with you and your world, can you share what your main focus is?
Yeah, Ancora is really a specialized business within broader commercial real estate and institutional investment ecosystem. We specialize in partnering with anchor institutions, which we think of as universities, academic medical centers, and national laboratories. Our main client base is universities, and they have a very unique set of needs and a unique set of demands and the type of partners that they work with. And so we fill this very niche role of addressing the mission and strategic priorities of those universities through the real estate and infrastructure needs, and bringing private capital, institutional capital to the table to unlock those priorities.
Awesome. How did you come up with this concept?
You know, I got into the business 25 years ago, rather by accident, in Durham, North Carolina, where I'd grown up. I had the great fortune of working with and partnering with Duke University as they were thinking about how to redevelop downtown Durham and bring more economic activity, more jobs, more housing into the downtown area to make Durham an even better city for all the folks that were working at the university, coming to school at the university. And what I learned working with them is really the stickiness of those types of partnerships. You know, Duke is not like working with a large corporate tenant that, you know, at the end of the lease can pick up and leave town. They're not going anywhere. And so they tend to think quite long term. And so the revitalization of downtown Durham that I was able to participate in really showed me the power of partnering with these anchor institutions. And so we took that show on the road and were able to start doing that in other places around the country, helping drive innovation ecosystems, helping bring folks living back into urban areas or areas around the campus. And all of it centered around these anchor institutions being this long duration, very durable relationship. We tend to think of ourselves now less as investors in any asset class and more investors in relationships, because the needs over time may shift, the type of asset that needs to be delivered may shift, but the relationship can continue delivering those new business opportunities over time.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important. How are you facilitating the relationships between these investors and the universities?
Yeah, so we've we really traditionally have been a sponsor, general partner in the transaction, delivering the full scale integrated of the development or of the asset acquisition. What we've done over the last year is really pivoted our business to more of an investment management model, where we are sitting between and helping form the capital through open-ended and closed-end vehicles, and then making that available to the universities in a variety of structures. We tend to not come in and say, this is what we do, we could build one of these things here, or this is the type of money we have, would you like some? We tend to come in and listen first and say, what are you trying to accomplish? And then look to create a financial structure, create a real estate solution that can enable that can unlock the priority that the university has. And then it's really our job to blend that to the right type of institutional capital. So you can think about the different priorities that maybe sovereign wealth or pension or endowment investors may have versus more high-octane, closed-in real estate vehicles. And so we don't come in and say it has to be any one thing. We really try to back solve for what is the right structure, what's the right type of capital to use in any given situation.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to your investor partners, is there a specific criteria that they need to have in order to be involved?
Because universities are such reliable, sticky clients, the investor community tends to think of them as more of a credit play. And so they tend to be more interested in long duration, stable, solid cash flows. That means the return profile we can offer typically is a little bit lower than, say, development or a heavy value add strategy. But that's what the investors are looking for. They'd rather get a single digit predictable return year over year for 10 plus years than try to deliver X multiple with a highly levered, double digit return in a 2 or 3 year period. We can do both. We can structure for both, but I'd say the majority of what we see in terms of both the opportunity side and the investor demand is more for that longer duration, cash flowing, yield driven investment activity.
Awesome. What are some examples of how you've supported universities so far?
Yeah, we've got a number of interesting projects going right now. One in particular that we're proud of is with Notre Dame University in South Bend, Indiana. A lot of institutional investors don't think about Indiana. And we found that across the state, there's really robust economic activity happening, but it's not evenly distributed. And particularly in the northwest part of the state, there's been underinvestment over the last 15 or 20 years. There's a couple of really interesting industry sectors that have remained strong there, like it's sort of the RV capital of the world. Folks may not know that, but the majority of RVs are built in that part of the country. And so what that means is there's some really interesting industries that can be built up around that, like composite materials, advanced diagnostics, data and analytics. And so working with Notre Dame University, we are redeveloping a portion of downtown South Bend to provide a home for some of these entrepreneurial companies who are trying to address these new industry verticals. What Notre Dame's doing is putting downtown some of their academic and research uses that can marry with the interest of industry partners and entrepreneurs who may want to engage with the university. So it really creates a front door for working with the university. You think about, it's one thing to attend the university or work at the university, but if you want to partner with the university, it might seem quite complicated. And what this is trying to do is really lower the barrier to entry and make South Bend a more attractive place for entrepreneurs and for growth of companies and industry.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're supporting these universities with their overall growth, not necessarily just their real estate facilities?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I mean, we tend to think of the real estate as enabling some larger mission or strategic priorities. So in this case, Notre Dame sees an opportunity to grow its research footprint, sees an opportunity to provide more outlets for student entrepreneurs and faculty entrepreneurs, and sees an opportunity for greater economic activity in South Bend and the northern part of Indiana. And so through the investment in the real estate, by populating that real estate with the right type of uses and by making the programmatic connections to the university, you can really create this value proposition that gets people that want to lease space there and want to be there. And our general view is companies that can have a meaningful relationship with the university, whether they're at startup scale or full corporate industry partner, they will be better long-term tenants in the real estate because of that partnership. So it's not a real estate decision so much as it's a relationship and partnership decision, and the real estate sort of helps enable that. And I think that's true beyond just commercial office space. We see that in residential, we see that in retail. The entire mixed use environment is strengthened by those programmatic connections with the university. So when we have a university that has an impact goal, if you will, that it goes beyond just meeting a space need, we're really able to accelerate and amplify that impact.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Amazing. What are you most focused on solving or scaling to next?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, within the company, we're constantly thinking about how to grow and maintain an entrepreneurial mindset and continue to take advantage of any opportunity that comes in front of us. I think on the client side, the thing we're most focused on now is helping our university clients navigate a fairly complex transition that's occurring across their business model. For those folks who are following in the news, there's been a substantial amount of change in the way the federal government is partnering with universities to support the research funding, to provide for international students and enrollment, and any number of other ways in which the federal government works with universities. All that's sort of been in flux over the course of this year. So that's causing university partners to have to think very differently about how they execute on their core mission of educating students and creating research and discovery and breakthroughs and continuing to fill all of the other opportunity and potential that they have in their marketplace as a generator of economic development, et cetera. That's to say nothing of what's going on in athletics around universities and NIL and all of the disruption to how the athletics world is working. So every part of the university's business model has been in flux this year. And so we've spent a lot of time planning, thinking, strategizing with our university clients about how utilization of private capital can help them make that transition and start to solve for some of those problems. primarily through the real estate, but I think we're seeing in our business an expansion beyond just private capital need for real estate to some of the broader transitions of business operations that we're seeing at these universities across the country.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, amazing. What an exciting place to be in and to support
Well,
them. How does it look for the investors that work with you? What's their role?
yeah, so on the client side, the opportunity is of the top 430 credit rated universities. So there's about 4,000 colleges and universities in the U.S. And we tend to focus on the top 430 or so credit rated universities. And of those universities, over the next decade, Moody's has identified that they'll need somewhere between $750 and $950 billion in capital in order to fund and finance all of their real estate and infrastructure needs, including deferred maintenance and new building expansion. So when you look at the scale of that, I think investors can really get excited about the ability to place significant amounts of capital within a strategy that up to this point has been a fairly closed ecosystem. And so what we're seeing is enormous investor interest, everything from small family office to large sovereign wealth funds who are thinking about the ways in which they may want to allocate capital to meet the enormous demand that's coming forth. Some of that is like we talked about in a very straightforward credit-like strategy. Some of that is much more opportunistic and risk-taking. And so our ability to offer that entire spread and be sort of the really one of the only, if not the only players who's focused in this unique niche means that we're able to really take advantage of both an enormous supply and demand opportunity coming together at the right time.
Amazing. So, do the investors need to be really hands-on this journey, or they kind of just leave it up to you guys to hold them through that process?
Yeah, it's a great question. Most of the investors that we work with are passive limited partners. They're making allocations to us as an investment manager, and then trusting us to steward that capital on their behalf. Some of those investors like us to do that, with discretion and report to them and keep them informed. Some investors like to be more hands-on, and we're willing to work with any structure that's desired by the investor side. I think, the thing that we're constantly doing is trying to make sure that all parties in the deal understand the dynamics of the deal, right? So if we don't want to create mismatch by having the wrong type of capital or investor expectation with the wrong asset type. The other thing that you're seeing is universities are large business operations, so they've got pretty sophisticated real estate execution capability. And so oftentimes they're able to do the on the ground work. And so the scalability of our business that might otherwise be restricted from working nationally because we're not in every market where a deal might occur is mitigated because the university has local staff on site who can handle a lot of that on the ground work. And so it allows, the passive institutional investors to allocate us capital and for us to structure that capital for the university partners and have a variety of different ways in which we can interact based on how much support the university might need on the ground.
Awesome. How are you guys working on business growth when it comes to getting clients on both the educational system and through the investors?
Yeah, so we segment our team out. We've got a great group of team members called our client strategy and execution group. And they're really, many of those folks are former university administrators or have been in the consulting landscape with universities. So they really understand how universities tick. And so their job is to really sit down with the university and unpack the challenges that they're experiencing, the opportunity that they're trying to take advantage of, any constraints that might be affecting their ability to execute, and really identify the scope of the opportunity. Then, they'll pair internally with a portfolio manager who's able to then structure a deal on behalf of investors and blend that capital together. Again, we really think about this as being relationship driven. We're not there to be transactional with any particular university. We're there to build a long-term relationship and deliver a structure that unlocks the mission and strategic priority that they have in front of them. Same thing on the investor side, where we've got a team that's constantly out talking to investors, understanding what they're looking for, the type of duration and yield, and as you know, there's a wide variety of investor profiles and appetites, and so an insurance company balance sheet might be really interested in a very long leased asset with a very low yield that has virtually no risk and is credit supported. They would not be the right investor for a new ground up mixed use entertainment district around an athletic facility, right? So we've got to find the right type of capital and investor in order to blend together. And so our investor relations team is constantly out talking to investors about what they're looking for and what sort of structure that they're interested in or role that they'd like to play in the deal. Again, some investors want to be completely passive and make an allocation to a strategy. Some investors want to be very hands-on and underwrite every deal, and we're able to work with any of those demands.
Awesome. What a cool business structure you guys have created.
Thank you.
Yes. So before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more about everything that you're doing, where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, our website, Ancora.re, is a great place to see what we're up to and connect with members of our team. Again, we're relationship driven, so we tend to think very deeply about building connections and friendships in all the markets where we're working, not just with our clients, but with customers, the folks who are in our buildings paying rent, as well as community partners. We also tend to think about local partners who can invest alongside us, right? So if we're doing a large project in South Bend, Indiana, I hope that 3 or 4 other real estate entrepreneurs want to be investing around us and doing things that can benefit from the large investment that we're making downtown, whether they're trying to provide housing or building up retail space or other office space. We're big believers in density and creating that center of gravity for investment. So always welcome sharing and comparing notes in markets where we're working with other real estate entrepreneurs and investors to create a rising tide for all of the boats.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Michelle. It's great to be with you.
Of course. And for the listeners tuning into the show, if you got value, make sure you've subscribed. We've got more conversations coming with operators like Josh who are building real businesses. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.